strong inside of our state and our country. Thank you, Bobby. It's nice to have some spark back. So what was I saying? Look, we need the public support. We need people to be leading, and no longer the people that are already there. This is what I'm saying to you. If there's someone on the stage who is a leader, don't follow them anymore. I mean, do whatever the fuck you want, honestly. But we're not going to get anywhere until we say, I'm not interested in you, Thanos, or Topher Field. I'm not interested in you, Pete Evans, although that interest in him is gone. I'm not interested in you, Morgan Jonas. I'm not interested in you, Monica, because you guys don't care. You are for yourselves, and I don't actually mind them being for themselves a little bit. I mean, I'm going to be announcing a tour of my own where I want to talk about all of these ideas, right? And I'm going to ask people to pay for tickets. Yep, I don't mind. Like, to me, I'm pragmatic as well. Like, I'm fiery, but I'm pragmatic. If these people had some integrity about them, they wouldn't just be making a documentary and going, well, that's my job done. Because no, he's right in the fucking middle of it, right? He's right in the middle of it. If you have all the inside information, then if you get enough people supporting you, you can actually put pressure on governments to not be so corrupt, right? Because if you have hundreds of, I mean, I remember watching that, and I go back to this quite often in my lives, about the AFL lawyers. Fucking cunts. Fuck me. 400 and something thousand people watching that, and they sold the country down the river, right? With that kind of support. I mean, imagine, right? Imagine if you had 400 odd thousand people surrounding, say, a police. I mean, I'm not going to, I'm not going to incite, but if you did that, you'd actually affect some change, right? If you surrounded Channel 7 or Channel 9, had an actual targeted protest, right? Or just at least people out there think, instead of just going along. I would not attend protests until there is some cooperation between some people who give a fuck. Like, no more Harrison McLean. Like, fucking scrub him. Like, I haven't had a conversation with him either. Like, I mean, he's fucking weird, that guy. I can't have a conversation with him, and I haven't had a conversation. I mean, I'm curious, right? For you people out there, there's only 30 whatever watching. Would you expect any of these people to reach out if they were trying to affect change? You know, and another. I actually want to. While I'm on this, I actually wanted to give some kudos to some people, including people like Cindy Niles. She's a warrior and a self-confessed psychopath detector. Like, she can, pick those people out. Melissa from Open Voice. I mean, she's a legend as well. Like, just day in, day out, tries to affect change. Respectfully, many of you have named do have integrity. No, it can't be. It can't be, Mishka. It just cannot be. If these people had integrity, then they would be doing what I'm doing, ranting and saying, get a fucking round table together. Get a round table together. All you're talking about is that they talk a good talk, Mishka. They talk a good talk, right? They sound like they want to affect change, but they're not willing. And this is my question to you, Mishka. If they want to affect change and they have integrity, then wouldn't you search far and wide for the people who are just like you and not be so inclusive, right? And forming clubs, because that's what it is. Like, when you look at Dave O'Neig's and what he's doing, he's got 60-odd thousand people, but you can't write a message on there. It's so, and you can't write. He's not going to respond to you. Correct, Michelle. Gatekeepers. They say what we want to hear. Fucking A. Well, I'm not going to. I'll call out every motherfucker there is. But and it's been to the detriment of myself, right? Because, you know, I'm still on bail. This is actually still like a breach, right? It's still a breach, but whatever. I want to see those people put themselves on the hook. And yeah, okay, so, all right, here we go. Morgan's put in hours of research and tried to share his knowledge. Everyone has become so good at researching. They really are. They really are. You know what? I hand it to Morgan. But it's a business model. It's a fucking business model, Mishka. Same with Avi. Have a look at his team. They put hours and hours of research into finding the most bizarre fucking case and bringing it to court to make it seem like they're doing something. I mean, you know, I watched Avi outside the Supreme Court. Was it the Supreme Court? What a joke! He doesn't understand the first thing about what he's actually trying to achieve. And he doesn't care because it gets clicks. And same with Morgan. Your man Morgan. Controlled opposition by definition. By definition. Anyway, look, this is what I came to say that you know, these people I want to acknowledge. Jackie Dundee, who just keeps on fucking charging, right? She's someone who at least will listen. Right, she'll listen. She goes off on her own and she goes and looks at whatever the hell's going on and probably gets involved in maybe too much. I don't know. Not that I can really talk. You know, I've done that myself. I think that, like I said, Aisha, Serene. Like I was a bit pissy with Serene, but what I've seen is that Serene will actually listen. Yeah, and she's trying to set up you know, alternative communities. But I'd like her to be on the round table. Well, she's a smart woman. She's a smart woman, right? Tony Pecora is another one who had conversations. He's one of the original freedom warriors. Like he set up the St Kilda movement that really started the charge before it really got dismantled by Millions Rise. And Autumn and Ed Baker and Ed from Rise Up, who thinks everyone's a shill, but I gotta love him anyway. Now Mishka, evidence-based research needs to get into the courts. I'm sorry, Mishka, you just don't know what you're talking about. That is the it's like, it's not even the starting point. Like, yeah, of course, you in fact, it's not evidence, because that's Merritt's argument, and you will not win those. But if you want to win them, it doesn't even matter. It's about having a narrative, right? You have to have a storyline to go into court, and then what you need, and this is what I was talking about, those 400,000 fucking people who watch AFL lawyers flush our movement down the toilet, right, amongst with other people, you need to have public support. So, you know, I firmly believe, I really do, that any one of the High Court matters we had, or even Sol Millen, who brought a fucking bullshit matter, and you know what, Sol, I'll have a conversation with you about that. If you want to talk to me, fuck, right? Even his matter, which was nonsense with regards to law, if that had 400,000 people petitioned, right? If you had thousands of people outside the court when he was there, you reckon it might have had a fighting chance of having some impact? Of course. This is the learning point. This is what the learning point is. That these motherfuckers have sold us down the river, whether they do great research or not. Because I've come across a lot of people who do great research. Everyone does great research, right? And it's not enough. It's not enough, because what they're interested in is self-interest. And like I said, self-interest is fine, but it can't be isolated. If you are smart, tick, right? If you're motivated, tick. If your only motivation is self-interest and for funding your shit, bad. It's helped get a few favourable outcome. I'm glad. You know what, Mishka? You know what? Instead of arguing like this, because I can see that you care, right? I want you. Because you care, right? Free hug time. Thank you, Amanda. Mishka, you care enough to put energy into these responses and to synthesize the stuff that you've got. I'm asking you, Mishka, when these round tables get formed, and they're fucking going to, they have to, because some of you people are actually going to go talk to your networks, right? That's what you're going to do, isn't it? That's what you're going to do. It's not just me, right? There's actually people who are going to talk about, I mean, because the way that you get influence is by talking to other influential people. But unfortunately, if those cunts, they're a wall, right? They're gatekeepers, then what you say goes nowhere. So I'm talking to you, Mishka, and people like you, right? To go and talk to people who can actually, who are not going to gatekeep. And don't just ask yourself, are these people good people? No, what you need to do is ask, what have they followed through with? What has it resulted in? Did they do what they said they would do? And if they have not, then don't bother talking to RDA, Monica, Morgan, or any of these other people, because they don't. Then they're not interested in the same thing that you are. If your interest is freedom, because that's what I've been talking about this whole time. I went to court trying to get freedom. Fuck, man, look what I've done. I'm vocally rehearsing like 5 hours a day for my music, and this is gonna fuck me. All right, I'm just going to look some comments. John says, communicating information directly to the public who currently only get MSM News letterboxes knocking on doors. Hey, John, if you are interested in, if you're motivated, you reckon you're clever enough to come up with some ideas, and they are ideas, then you make sure you're in that round table. You get involved. Right? I'd rather have that the round table is like we have to lock people out because there's too much. I mean, the whole town square idea is the thing that's been missing. We don't have a town square. And Facebook was supposed to be that, and yet these fuckers have subverted it into their own channels. Right? I mean, I was talking about this, what's his bloody name? From Mike Palmer, who at the beginning of the movement, was like, all right, here's know your rights. Oh, but now we're going to actually monetize that. Oh, fuck you, man, fuck you, and anyone like that. All right, so but anyway, John, I want to see you contribute. The protest had no end game. They did in the beginning, I can tell you that, Marion. What we were trying to do was disrupt, but that right now, you're right. They don't. It's to have a fucking picnic. Mishka, written a meta-analysis against the mask. Yeah, good. Yep. And I've read a lot of those meta-analyses, especially with like open heart surgery, etc., where they said, there's no difference between wearing a mask and not. In fact, some were saying that the cultures or the flora, it gets affected when you wear a mask and can negatively affect someone who's had open heart surgery. Anyway, getting off point. Round table. Good. And not with those people who I've just mentioned. I don't care whether you think in fact, if you think they're good, well, I presume that they're going to be there at the fucking round table. Here's my money, Mishka, that only through really severe public pressure would you get Morgan to do anything like that. He won't do it. He won't do it. I messaged him early on, and he's like, I'm not really, caring so much about that as long as I can get, my clicks, The round table was demolished in the war. Well, nickels and dimes, shove that idea, honestly. I mean, look, we can establish a round table. Like, it's not hard to do. I already know at least 3, 4, and it seems like a lot of you are interested in this. And if you know people who are willing to be, leaders, and this is where the rub is, right? This is the rub, right? And it's how we've been subverted. Because in order to have influence, you have to have a platform. Now, I built a little platform, and then I sort of, let it evaporate because, well, for one thing, police were after me and all that. So I sort of deleted all the posts that were incriminating, so to speak. But hey, if you share my post, if you get other people to follow me or these people I'm saying, Aisha, or I don't know if Autumn is, I know she put in so much work, Autumn Baker. I don't know if she's too knackered, but she was just amazing at bringing people together. Like I suck at that. I think. It's not my strong suit, but she was able to delegate